obviously everybody has been talking about AI prototyping. Lovable has crossed 120 million ARR in less than a year since founding. What's the grade here we're giving for Lovable?
Lovable is a solid A. The only reason I wouldn't give it an S is everything made using Lovable starts to feel the same, starts to look the same. It's everything uses the Shade CN library. If you use the default Tailwind CSS, React front end, it all sort of starts. Every app that you build with it looks very beautiful, but looks similar, right? And I think that's a huge opportunity there for someone to actually build really good UX libraries, UI component libraries. Shade CN folks have done such a phenomenal job. It's the most standout component library, but we need more. We need a lot more.
Yeah, I found that Lovable, when I've been testing it head to head against a lot of these tools, it's good, but it's not amazing. Like it gets the job done of AI prototyping, but it doesn't necessarily make me feel like it's built with incredible craft or something like that. People saw my dashboard. I have live Lovable sites where I've bought domains for them. I've tried all sorts of things, and ultimately I feel like this lands in the B category. It's AI prototyping tool, but it feels like it's probably just mainly a wrapper on Claude Sonnet. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think B would be fine because if you think about it, what it doesn't do is, for one, it doesn't give you a very good structure to work with, right? So something that maybe would stand out perhaps for Replit, for example, is that it helps you build a plan before you actually start building. Lovable just pushes out the first thing with the very first prompt that you give it, right? And it sort of looks decent, and it's never, it doesn't do a good job of building backends as well.
Yeah, it's not very good at backend yet. Hopefully the team and Elena Verna will improve on that.
Yeah.
All right. So the next tool that everybody's been talking about, this one also passed 100 million ARR recently, is Bolt.
Old.
Built-in import from Figma, GitHub. I have plenty of Bolt projects. In fact, I just recently launched my cohort, and that was through Bolt. So
Excellent.
it works. You can live build things. It's pretty fast. Sometimes it runs into issues. What's the grade we're giving Bolt? How does it compare to a Lovable?
I think it's definitely higher than Lovable, mostly because I think it also does a very good job of building more complex apps and more complex end-to-end products. Does a better job of helping you think through what the backend of your product would be. Um, if you're building pure sort of solo apps which only you're going to use and multiple people are not going to use, and it's local storage, Lovable is great, right? But if the moment you want to sort of build something which multiple people need to use, which will have a proper storage system, then you need something like a Bolt or even better.
Totally. So I think Bolt hits that A tier category.
Yeah.
The next tool that everybody's been talking about is Magic Patterns, and I've been using this one personally a lot. Also have launched an app through Magic Patterns. It can clone LinkedIn, it can recreate a screenshot. The coolest thing about Magic Patterns is that it is only front end, so it's really, really fast. So it's purpose built for AI prototyping. It's not built for vibe coding, but I do think that's a bit of a deficiency having vibe coding. So I'm inclined to put this in the B category. Does that sound right?
That sounds about right. I think it's good to have tools which are very specific to a problem statement that, like, hey, build great front ends, and that's about it. And that's good. That's a good problem to solve, right? I don't think everyone should try and say that, hey, we'll help you build end-to-end products, because sometimes you need a really good front end, and then you can go ahead and use another tool or use something else to build the backend. So that's absolutely fine.
Okay. The next app that everybody's been talking about is V0. I've done a lot of bake-offs where I like run all of these AI prototyping tools against each other. And what I love about V0 is after Magic Patterns, it's always the one to finish.
Yeah,
And it actually does backend, and it's backed by Vercel infrastructure. So it's pretty easy to
yeah,
just publish
correct.
something altogether.
Yeah,
So
it's
where do
very
we put,
easy. Yeah, it's very easy to deploy products on Vercel, right? So anything that you make with V0 and you actually want to put it in the hands of a few users, even if it's just friends and family members, I think V0 does a much better job.
yeah, so I think V0 probably lands in that Bolt A tier category, right?
Yeah.
It's an A tier tool. And then base 44. So this is the tool, this is the mythical tool, the one man $80 million exit. Actually insane that he did this, Mayor Shlomo. What is our take on base 44?
I haven't used it much. I'll defer to you.
So I've used it quite a bit. I love it. I actually think it's like one of the best at backend and actually creating an app. So I'm inclined to put this in the A tier category as
Excellent.
well.
Yeah.
So the hot question then is we have three tools in the A tier category from this
Yeah.
AI prototyping. We put Bolt, V0, and Base 44. If we had to crown a winner, what is the best AI prototyping tool right now?
I think right now I would say, for me at least, Bolt is slightly ahead, right, by a few points. Mostly because it has a better structure. You know, when you start off, it by default thinks about both the front end and the back end in a better way. Uh, Allows you to build a little bit more advanced apps from the get go. So, in my book, I would say Bolt is a little higher for prototyping.
Okay. I think it's neck and neck. We have a difference of opinion for the first time. Anshumoney giving Bolt the best air prototyping tool title. I will give it to V0. Just because in a lot of these head-to-head bake-offs that I have, Bolt runs into like errors.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't seem to be able to dig itself out of those errors fast. V0, it's like almost never runs into errors. I never have to hit like fix this. I did a demo video. The Bolt CEO was on the podcast, and we probably spent like 30 minutes just debugging. And I don't
Ouch.
think that happens as much with V0.
That's true.
All right. So, Replit. What would you tell us about Replit?
I think for me, of all the tools that I've used to build sort of end-to-end products, apart from actually using an IDE or using something on my desktop itself, but web-based tools, I think Replit takes the cake for me. It is, I think the first critical thing, especially as a PM, is that you want a little bit of a structure before you get into building anything. So the moment you start giving Replit prompts, it says, hey, let's figure out what we are going to build before it actually starts writing any piece of code. And I think that one single thing is probably what makes Replit far stronger than every other tool, which is that it jams with you. It comes up with a proper plan and only then gets into the execution phase. What I'm also able to do now with Replit is that it has multi-agent facility, so you can actually work on different aspects of your product. You can, while you're bug fixing on one end, your other agent could be going through your repository and making sure all front-end bugs are solved. You could have a third agent working on just making sure that all your documentation is in order. So I genuinely enjoy that a lot. I've built a whole bunch of tools that for my own sake, which I've shared with a few of my friends, and I think Replit for me is my go-to for building end-to-end products, which I can quickly deploy. Lots of integrations, really easy to deploy your built products as well.
Awesome. So Replit we really like. The question is it an S tier or is it an A tier?
You have to remember that Replit is overall, even before the whole AI sort of usage came in, Replit was already a very, very strong sort of web-based IDE. So Replit has been doing this really well for a long time. So I think there's a bunch of accrued benefits that they have in understanding what developers are thinking about. I think for me, it's probably the highest. In all the other prototyping tools, I'd probably put it right there at an S.
All right. So Replit is the real AI prototyping tool winner. We had put it in the vibe coding category, but it spans the AI prototyping category as well. It has a very highly agentic agent, I would say.
Yes.
Like it can go out and plan and just work for hours and hours, which is something that really does set it apart. Replit, we love it. We give it really high reviews. On to Windsurf. So Windsurf, a lot of people ask me, is Windsurf even still a thing? So I like Windsurf. We did a tutorial podcast on Windsurf. It is really good. It's not quite at that Cursor level, I think. Cursor just has slightly more attention for detail. And ever since Windsurf got acquired by the Cognition team, which makes Devon AI back in July, it seems like Windsurf kind of lost its momentum and its top leader. I hope you enjoyed that short clip. You can check out the full episode here.